Can't stand that. I want to scratch with my fingernails while I'm teaching. No, I'm just kidding. I want it to be higher. What? Well, with all the construction? This isn't going to work. Aha. That's better. I'm sorry, sweetie, I didn't make you lunch. It's been really crazy here. I'm sorry I didn't make you lunch. It's really crazy here. Oh, and my kids just heard that. Because my students just heard that because I'm on a live stream. Huh? I'm sorry. Just set it on the counter. Yeah, just set it on the counter. All right, guys. First, IB juniors, we started a chat. It isn't finished on GroupMe. Let me see. Okay, IB juniors, 17 of you here, good. Well, 2 of those may not be my students, but make sure to like and subscribe. But first, I want to try to finish Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, which will be the last Eliot poem that we will do that's mandatory. You can use both Hollow Men and Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock on your interactive oral. As I said before, there's an opportunity to voluntarily do the Wasteland, which I will provide extra time for if you want to, but I'll need at least 5 students for that. Those of you who have seen the conversation in the GroupMe, do you have any comments or questions about the pacing schedule, Watchmen, the assignments, or the interactive oral? And there's a 10-second delay. Yeah, you have to get in front for him to see you. The camera's up there.
Oh, I came. Mom, where's my books? I need to read your book. Where's my book? My books.
Where'd you put your book?
I have no idea to read it. I don't have to. That's my assignment. Is it in the car?
Oh, sorry, Ben. I started typing, forgetting that I can speak to you. Okay, so recommendation from Claire on the Wasteland. I'll try to make it as good as possible, even though it's interactive, even though it's online. Then Ben, we are going to read The Watchmen on your own, but don't worry, it's really easy to read. I mean, it's fast to read, although there's a lot there. So, and you don't have to annotate it. Mr. Thompson is anti-book. What book are you reading right now? You have to tell them.
The Secret Zoo.
That's the book that he's reading right now. All right, so good question from Ben, good comment by Claire. Any other questions? I'll have questions for a maximum of 12, let's say 5 more minutes. And then we'll take those questions to GroupMe or some other forum, and we're going to start Eliot. So any more questions like by 12:16? Any feedback on the pacing guide? There's not enough time to mandatorily do the Wasteland because it's very difficult. However, if a minimum of 5 students want to do the Wasteland, I will spend extra time to do the Wasteland and do it with you. It's an amazing poem, and I think that you can use it on the interactive oral, although Claire has wisdom having gone through it. So are there any other questions about the pacing guide, Watchmen, or the assignments and activities the rest of the semester? I could also take comments. Do you think it's too much? Are you disappointed? What's going on? Yes, Aaron, you'll be submitting annotations for this poem. But as I said, you can annotate it as we go along, or you can look at the previous videos. All right, we got. Where did you leave it? Have you checked your room? Have you checked here? Have you checked the bedroom? Okay. So Ryan, I got one for the Wasteland. Ben, we're not going to do Southern Gothic, but I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll write up an activity with that, and I will figure out some way to reward people that do it, but it'll be completely voluntary. Okay, but I will make that as a bonus assignment too. Okay, because it is good, and I would like to do it with you, but I'm not sure we could do it live. But I may do it like as a series of small videos movie assignments, voluntary, 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 and then maybe some asynchronic chat. Okay, I got 2 for the wasteland. It's true, I hate books. Okay, about another two minutes, and I'm going to start wasteland because some of the people aren't interested in these questions. Did you leave it outside? All right, that's 3 for the wasteland. If you can rope 2 more people minimum to doing it, then we will do it and synchronically. That's 4 for the wasteland.
1 more and.
But guys, it's voluntary, okay? Because it's just.
1 more.
All right. So we're gonna do the wasteland. I'll figure out. Yes, I'll figure out a way to do that, and we'll just do that completely separate, right? But we're gonna have to meet at least twice a week on it to get it done. So, guys, I have to. Okay, I have to. Don't cry over spilt soy milk, but I have to clean some up, and I'll be right back. Okay, 1 second. And then after that, we're doing Elliot. So if you have any more questions, this is your last chance about stuff other than Elliot.
No, I'm making them look at my face. Hi. Dad, can you only find my Chromebook? Not my Chromebook, sorry. Not my Chromebook. I need to find my book.
Where did you last put it?
I don't know.
Okay, I need to teach. Okay. Sorry about that craziness. All right. Okay. All right, I'm looking for questions, and then I'm going to start. I read American Gods, it's great. Sandman is incredible. Oh, Garen. Oh, join us, Garen. It'll be fun. We're gonna do Elliot. You can give all the Burrell. You can give all the Braille wisdom. Yay! And Noah found his book. For those of you that were worried. All right, sweetie, could you hand me those glasses up there? Thank you. Okay, we're not going to see Mr. Mac today. So is this one actually public? Is that my problem? Show him the book you're reading. And then we're going to start Elliot. Show him quick. So it's The Secret Zoo. It's about a character named Noah.
Yeah, on your screen, it's reversed, so it looks like the secrets.
Okay, well, I try to do it in a hurry because I've had a really busy morning, so I guess it's public. Is it bad that it's public? Oh, really? Yeah. I don't know. Okay, let me know in this. I'm going to start Elliot, but let me know in the chat if it's a bad idea to have this public. Noah thinks it's a bad idea, and he's a YouTube guy. All right. we had gotten to, and by the way, seniors, if you want to talk about Elliot, you can too, because people can't interrupt each other. All right. So I want to go from, we had talked a little bit, we were on the section, let me see, I don't have yours up, but I think we had talked about, the last thing we had talked about is we had talked about the kind of sexiness with the arms that are braceleted in white and bare, and the sensual imagery of, is it perfume from a dress that makes me so digress? And I want you guys to remember, we've been talking about metaphor, metonymy, synecdoche, sound, and then Latin and German words, and then also rhythm, okay? And that's accent, and then also duration. Those are all things that we talked about. And so, okay, so arms that lie along a table or wrapped about a shawl. Somebody will put like what number this is in the comments. That would be good. And like and subscribe. Arms that lie along a table or wrap about a shawl. Okay, this is the imagery we didn't really touch on last time that we talked, but this is a kind of, this arms that lie along a shawl at a table. Oh, I'm going to be interrupted by Ben real quick while somebody posts the line. Thank you, Siva. Okay, Ben, not only is rhythm in prose, it's in conversation. Okay, rhythm is intense in poetry, and it's manipulated more intentionally or conscientiously, although not completely conscientiously. You know, somebody just doesn't think, you know, I mean, in free verse, they don't think, oh, I'm going to just write it in iambic. It's not really that conscious. But even the rhythm that I'm speaking, even what I'm saying right now has stress and duration with the same rules. It's just much more intense in poetry. And some prose, Claire, is more poetic than others, right? And that's a description. You could say it's almost a description of diction. You could have, you know, a prosaic or almost poetic type form to it, and that's a way that you can do classification. Okay, good questions. Ben, good comment. Claire, thank you, Siva. Okay, so here, arms that lie along the table or wrap about a shawl. The verbs along and wrap. First of all, I want to remind you about the rhythm. Arms that lie along a table, okay? 7, or wrap about a shawl. Okay, so that's almost perfect iambic pentameter. And if you notice, the words are very, very simple, but I want to focus you again because I really want you to have the skill of duration. Arms that lie along a table. So the words wrap is in the end of that sentence, and it slows you down. And then shawl is also a word with a lot of long duration. So arms that wrap around a table are all all syllables with very, very short duration. But wrap, even though it's monosyllabic, is actually very long. And shawl is really, really long. So it gives this. The reason I'm trying to teach you that what rhythm does. That's we only care about the feels. But it goes short, 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 short. But a table kind of extends it out, or wrap about a shawl, right? And it has this languid sensuality to it, as if they're very casual. And then that matches the imagery of lying or wrapped around a shawl, which is something that you kind of use to comfort yourself. So the sound matches the imagery. And this weird kind of, and it's also, this is a synecdoche, which I taught you about in the video. The arms represent the woman. Yes, he is looking at the arms and perhaps their qualities of beauty, and that's kind of an interesting take on beauty. But it's also synecdotal for the women, right? And then the last 2 lines before I check the comments, starting with these 2 conjunctions. And should I then presume? And how should I begin? Repetition of and I, and then look at the 2. the verbs presume and begin, fairly long duration at the end, and not even like a weak rhyme. Presume and begin, not even a chance to rhyme. But it's these questioning things, and to presume is to kind of like have an arrogance that you could do something or that you should do something. And then after that is how do I begin? So it's not even acting. These are pre-acting verbs. Okay, I'm gonna hit the comments. Good point by Claire about individual words. Annotating poetry is really, really OCD. A lot of details. I'm gonna pause for a second, see if anybody has any questions, comments, and I'm gonna go on. Looking at the time to finish the poem. Is everybody cool? Cool? Yeah. Good job. Simon finished his schoolwork. His ELA assignment was really long, right? And he had to write an essay about who inspired him. And he kind of made stuff up because he said, nobody inspires me. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going, rolling with the Elliot. Shall I say, I have gone at dusk through narrow streets. Remember, these are narrow streets, insidious streets, so we have repetition. It's very song-like the way that he bring it back. But listen to the verb, shall I say? That's like presume. Shall I say? Should I do that? Not would I do that. This is the opposite of to be or not to be, which is coming up. Shall I say, I have gone at dusk through narrow streets. Remember insidious arguments? Remember that part? And watch the smoke that rises from the pipe. Again, repetition, right? That's the cat, right? So, and it's in the past, so I've done this. So he's referring to this. This is kind of a repetition. One of the things about this is time. It's kind of a repetitive time. Even though this takes on one night, one trip to a party, it's something that he's done before. Of lonely men in shirt sleeves leaning out of windows. Okay, I need some help from you guys. Let's talk about imagery, right? And this is a species of urban imagery, but what do you see when you see lonely men in shirt sleeves leaning out of windows? Okay, think with me. Imagine lonely men leaning out of windows. And what do you think shirt sleeves are? That's a little bit archaic. It's not your usual idiom. But what do you see when you see lonely men hanging out of shirt sleeves? And what's the significance of that? I will wait for brilliant comments. Ryan says Hemingway. Actually, and you're both kind of right. I can kind of see Hemingway, and Siva, I love Chainsmokers. I love it. I think it's definitely, yeah, sure. Good. I love that you guys are pulling things intertextually. Right. So what's the significance of showing, and not just good or bad, but what's bad about these lonely men hanging out of windows? And I see it's implicit in your in your comments, but now make it more explicit. You guys have made allusions to other intertextual sources, but what particular way is it bad? Okay, bachelors, depressions, that's unpleasantly lonely, from Siva. Very good. Yeah. Simon's gonna make himself a hot dog. I love casual with your self-destruction, right? Okay, very good. So these are kind of these lonely men who, good, lacking Simon. Maybe they're voyeuristic or something, I don't know. Yeah, right, it's this kind of urban imagery, and it's very specific. So here's the thing about for poetry one or analyzing poetry. A lot of times you kind of know what the feels are, but a lot of times, and the seniors know this, you have to be pushed to be more specific and more specific. So for example, you started with intersexuality, but then you think exactly how the words affect you, like shirt sleeves, like leaning out of windows. Like you have to get really specific the details. Good job. I go on. Okay, then one of the most famous lines in American poetry, I should have been a pair of ragged claws scuttling across the floor of silent seas. Okay, first of all, I need feels, and then we're going to get really technical. Don't tell me just lonely. Everybody in the chat knows this. I should have been a pair of ragged claws scuttling across the floors of silent seas. Thanks, Aaron. We're going to talk about the image, and we're going to talk about what the literary term is in a second, but we always go with the feels first. Ben, you cheated, smart guy. It is. It's a synecdoche, right? Because what is the, okay, so, okay, first of all, let's do the feels. Okay, anxiety, guilt, yes. Right. I should have been, right? I should have been, Ryan. That's guilt, right? Like, I'm guilty for who I am. And regret. Okay, good. Now then, the feels. What do you feel with the imagery? Yeah, and it's a sense that there's, I think Ben is right, there's this really quietness to it, right? Silent seas, but scuttling is kind of has a lot of word imagery to it, but silent seas, you don't hear it. You know, and I see a nature show, and I see, you know, the silence that there's no thing about it. Yes, he wants to be less than. He wants to be a crustacean. He wants to be something with, and what kind of crustacean? A crustacean that has a protective shell on it and then hides at the bottom, you know, in the sand, right? I should have been that. My personality should not be that of a man going to a party. I should be a crab hiding on the bottom of the sea from predators. Very, very good. Now then, now that we've got the fields, we always start with the fields. Let's see like what makes us do the fields. So now talk to me about sound. Everybody at home, please say it to yourself because it activates your parietal lobe. Okay. I should have been a pair of ragged claws scuttling across the floors of silent seas. I should have been a pair of ragged claws scuttling across the floors of silent seas. Okay, please say that to yourself once or twice and tell me what sounds do you hear. You can either just talk in general terms or use some of the technical languages we've done. Are you good? Thank you for making your hot dog, Simon. Yes. So you guys see how the rhythm and the imagery combined, right? I'm reacting to bends, the rhythm feels comfortable. Safe from the ambition of the cities I like. Okay, now, what about, okay, show us Ecclesiastes if you're going to quote it, because I don't have that in my head, Ryan. Okay, guys, try it again. I should have, put your hand in front of your mouth and say it. I should have been a pair of ragged claws scuttling across the floors of silent seas. I should have been a pair of ragged claws scuttling across the floor of silent seas. Ryan, try posting that in GroupMe for later. Okay, guys, what do you feel when you say that phrase with your hand in front of your mouth? I should have been a pair of ragged claws scuttling across the floors of silent seas. Aaron, why is silent too long? Yes. Oh, this is great. You guys are doing really well. Oh, Claire, great. Floors, seas, right? You see the accent? Ragged claws scuttling across the floor of silent seas. I should have been. Do you guys think that this is trochaic, hard, strong, or do you think it's iambic, soft, strong? And remember, a lot of you music people are probably better at this than me because of your ear. I should have been. I should have been a pair. So I think it's iambic. I should have been a pair of ragged claws. Is it trochaic or iambic? Now I'm confused. I should have been a pair of ragged claws, scuttling. What? Simon's laughing at me teaching. What? Simon's laughing. He's off. You can't hear him, but he says you're getting confused about what you're teaching. He doesn't know that I do that all the time. I am I am your teacher who is not certain. All right, we've got a consensus on iambic. Okay, do you guys notice that like the way that I use an iambic trochaic is I'm not anal retentive about it. I'm concerned about the effect, but I think that it does have that kind of marching rhythm of iambic. That's the way you use this stuff, right? We don't care about trochaic and iambic. We only care about the effect, and it has this. You can assign certainty to this section while the thing about the bare arms and the shawl are trochaic. Do you guys see? This is cool. You can do this forever if you want, right? It'd be great at parties. You're at college and somebody like some rap music goes up and says, wow, that's interesting. That's trochaic. And then maybe you'll get a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Did you ever think about that? Mr. Thompson, getting you dates. All right. Okay, now then. Okay, why? Okay, this is a synecdoche. Okay, and by the way, before I admit this, the reason I wanted you to do this is that there's an interesting combination of fricatives and T-stops. Listen to the S's. I should have been a pair of ragged claws scuttling across the floors of silent seas. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the last two are alliterative. So the last two are alliteration. So S's, the S's and the hissing and the ocean, you can kind of feel that. Isn't this amazing? Isn't poetry amazing? But then you also have the T-stops. Actually, not just T-stops. I should have been a pair of ragged claws scuttling across the floors of silent seas. So there's the scuttling kind of breaks it up in there with the T-stops. And again, there's a paradox because it's a noise which you can't hear in the ocean. Isn't that cool? Claire, I think that's going to happen anyway. So, all right, Jaron, right? And you should own that. All right. So, very, very regretfully, I'm going to leave this sentence because I could talk about it for another hour, but that's just because I'm a nerd. I need to get you guys through this. Okay, and then time again. Okay, it skips, and then there's again and. Okay, they tell you not to begin sentences with and because it's this kind of continuation. And you see the effect? And the afternoon, the evening sleeps so peacefully, right? Smoothed by long fingers. Again, the sensuality imagery. Asleep, tired, or it malingers. Do you guys see how the recursive repetition? That was redundant. I mean that it's recursive in that it's not just repetitive, but it kind of comes back in different forms. So long fingers goes with the long arms previously. It's kind of like literally an extension of it. Asleep, ellipsis, tired, or it malingers, right? Listen, asleep, tired, or it malingers. Lots of duration that's also supported by the ellipses, which gives this sleepiness. And the afternoon, the evening sleep so peacefully. So that's kind of a punctuated. But then listen, smoothed by long fingers. Asleep, tired, malingers. Listen to the duration when you say that. You're not going to be able to do it when I do it. Listen to it in your mouth. Asleep, tired, and it malingers. Stretching the floor here beside you and me. I'm going to do this didactically, take some questions, and then I'm going to turn you guys loose on a section real quick. Stretched on the floor, smooth by long fingers, and then stretched on the floor here beside you and me. All right. Yeah, massive duration, right? So And it has this sense of it. And this is sense of kind of, is this sometime in the past, or is it this kind of the malaise of the day? And look at malingers. Malingers has mal in it. You know, not the same. It's not. I don't think it's the same phonological origin, but it has a sense of bad to it, right? And then beside you and me. Do you guys remember the beginning of the poem? How it starts off? Let us go now, you and I. Who is the speaker? And who is this addressed to? Does that make sense? Stretch on the floor here beside you and me. All right, now then, I want you guys to do some work, just commentary. Should I, after cakes and tea and ices, have the strength to force the moment to its crisis? Go. Comment on those 2 lines while I take my shirt off. Actually, my jacket. Okay, Ryan sees it as a memory that he's removed from. Comments? Should I, after the tea and cakes and ices, have the strength to force the moment to its crisis? Comment. Feels, sounds, imagery. What do you annotate on that? Good. Cakes, teas, and ices are indulgent. Absolutely. It's a tea party. It's high social class, which is an issue you can do in this urban setting. Yes, I can do artificial sweetness. I like that. Yes, the meaninglessness, Aaron. Good job, good job, good job. It is. It's like, it's the superficiality. And Aaron, that ties in with As the Women Come and Go, talking of Michelangelo. He's outside this kind of superficial facade type like world of society, right? And he sees it. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, you guys are doing good. The imagery. Can you guys talk to me about sound? Remember to say it to yourself. There's 2 things you can do to get the guys, some little tricks to get the aspiration and stops. Should I, after cakes and ices, have the strength to force the moment to our crisis? You'll get aspiration, which is H's, and then you'll also get fricatives, and then you'll also get the stops, B stops, T stops, something like that. And then, if you remember from the video that I posted to you about the guy the other guy did, you can get the duration by putting, by putting your hand underneath your chin. Should I, after tea and cakes and ices, have the strength to force a moment to its crisis? Now, you have to do this for a while to start comparison before you can pick it up, but you can get duration by putting your hand on your chin, and you can get aspiration and fricatives and stops right here. Yeah, I think that Ben and before Ryan thinks that this is maybe something out of time. So it may be in the species of a flashback or something that happens every day. Okay, good. I really like 3 and really. Yes, 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 yes. I mean, I know what you mean. Hey, and Josh, I didn't even met high and low sound, right? The way the ability, this is weak rhyme. Okay, put that in your annotations. It's weak rhyme, right? Um, so ISIS and crisis rhymes, and then T and cakes. That's not weak rhyme, but ISIS and crisis, right? ISIS and crisis. Anything else on the sound? What can you guys do? Rhythm? You guys hit some rhythm and duration for me? Rhythm and duration. Rhythm is a dancer. Now I got that song in my head. Nice, Ben. Right? Can you feel it? Can you hear it now? Particularly my music people out there. Okay, are you guys done playing with that one? Okay, I'll go on. I need to hurry up. Make sure I get you out of here at least 12:50. And so, but I have wept and fasted, wept and prayed. So again, and but. So starting with these conjunctions. Though I have seen my hair grown slightly bald, brought upon a platter, I am no prophet, and here's no matter. I have seen the moment of my greatness flicker, have seen the eternal footman hold my coat and snicker. In short, I was afraid. Okay, the head on a platter is from Harold from the Bible. That's the kind of allusion. What elements of pathos and bathos do you see in this? I know that's an easy question. I wouldn't ask it this easily if we were live, but for time, just to throw you guys a slow pitch softball. What are the elements of bathos and pathos in the lines from though I have seen my head to in short, I was afraid? How is bathos and pathos used together? And remember, a reader defines bathos and pathos for themselves. So you have to kind of feel like, where does it get ridiculous, or where do you think you get a sense that the words that Eliot chose are supposed to be ridiculous? So hit some bathos and pathos with that. While I go look back at the comments about the sound. Yeah, it is kind of, it does the build up with tension. It's very good. And I'll wait for 10 seconds about you guys talking about bathos and pathos. By the way, if you don't want to use the word bathos, you can say, black humor or humor, dark humor. I'm waiting for some comments on bathos and pathos. Rhythm and duration. Oh my gosh, I'm going to make a cheesy teacher video. Rhythm and duration from Rhythm as a Dancer. Beware, it's coming. Yes, bald is pathos. I was afraid is overwhelming. Yes. Do you guys see how cool this is? Yes, snickering. Like there's the character is in there. And by the way, yes, the character is in there, right? Grown slightly bald. I've seen the moment of my greatness flicker. We already talked about sound. We can do that again, but I'm trying to get you through this. I have seen the moment of my greatness flicker. You know what I'm saying? It's so short. Greatness and flicker are two words that should not go together. The juxtapositions of those two things are great. And also, if you want to analyze the sound, there's stuff to do that too. And then this is also, now that we've done this, why don't we go, since Ryan brought up the Capitol, let's go crazy on illusions. Okay. There's at least 3 illusions, arguably. And so we'll talk about the elusive nature of Eliot. Rhythm and duration. That's the situation. If you want to read poetry, it's going to be brilliant. It's going to be amazing. Rhythm and duration. Okay, I'm not just wasting time. I'm waiting for you guys to comment about. I need more pathos and bathos, or if you're done playing with that, you can stop. But I also want to get the illusions. And remember, Eliot himself says it's about the feelings, not about all the illusions. Okay, so what do you think of when you think of eternal footman? Right? There could be multiple right answers. Or what do you think of when you think of savior, prophet? And then what do you think what do you think with head on a platter? And if those of you have a cultural background in Judaism or Christianity, actually it'd be Christianity, I think it's New Testament. Who is Harold? I'll take Buddha. Prophet like Muhammad. Yeah, sure. Can anybody do the beheading of Harold? Does anybody know that illusion? Yes. Ben wins footman. It's death. Much like the guy who plays chess, like in The Seven Seals by Ingmar Bergman, right? This eternal footman, so first, it's death, and death is manning a coat closet. And then as he's handing the coat closet, he snickers while he puts his coat on him. There's so much there, right? Right, he's no prophet. John the Baptist. I'm sorry, it's John the Baptist. I got to put you on. I like Sharon and Boatman. Okay, I'm sorry, I got you guys off. And John the Baptist also was a prophet. I'm sorry, I got you off on Harold. I don't know where Harold came from, but yeah, it's John the Baptist. So John the Baptist was a prophet, and his head was brought on a silver platter, which makes him a martyr and seems like really, really horrible. But he's not going to even be a martyr because his greatness flickers, right? And then it ends with that highly climatic line, "In short, I was afraid." Okay, can anybody do a little bit of duration and rhythm on the last line? And you can contrast it with one before. I have seen the eternal footman hold my foot, my coat, and snicker. And in short, I was afraid. I think that's definitely iambic. And I have seen, right? And in short, I was afraid. That's the last line is hexameter, even though it has 7. All right, can anybody do the rhythm in the last 2 lines? And then we'll quit in 4 minutes regardless. And I know I didn't finish, but I don't care. Elliot is rich, and you're getting a lot of poetry value out of this. Yes, the meaningfulness. Do you guys see how the structure of the sentence? Can you imagine talking, in a poem about this? The structure and the monosyllabic nature of the syllable of the last sentence creates that kind of brevity, and it has that one trailing. The most longest duration of the words is afraid. So frayed. Compare I and compare short. I was in an frayed. It's the longest duration. It ends the sentence. It's just, it's brilliant. It's beautiful. Okay. Oh yeah, Aaron, we're going to finish another video. I may post one tomorrow. All right. I've taken enough of your time. The rules say that I'm only supposed to talk for like 40 minutes anyway. Okay. So I'm gonna take any last comments and include constructive criticism given kindly. Does anybody want to? I'll put it in a group me vote. But would anybody like to? Oh yeah, Hamlet. Good job, Brian. Does anybody want to? The answer is probably no. Does anybody want to meet tomorrow? I'll meet anytime you want to tomorrow. I also have to meet with my poor seniors. But A, do people want to meet tomorrow to finish Elliot? And B, what time tomorrow? And I could put both of those onto a group me vote. And I can meet outside school hours if you want, so that it doesn't do with other things. I know that you guys like late afternoon, so maybe I could do a 4 to 5. We could finish Elliot, and then we could start Watchmen on Wednesday. Aaron, I'm not doing 1 a.m. Hey Ryan, do you want us to wait till? I don't want to exclude people, particularly people who've. Okay, Ryan, how about 4 to 5? Okay, I'm gonna try to get off 4 or 5. You can send me a direct message if that really doesn't work for you, and it will be recorded. Okay. We watch the Watchmen. We are the Watchmen watchers. Hey, do you guys? Yeah, Claire, it's all deja vu. It's a cycle every year, except next year, for me, the cycle breaks, as I am no longer an IB teacher. Hey, juniors, and if you want to, the enthusiastic seniors could join us, or that could also. I'm going to take that in our group me, and I'm going to ask you if you want enthusiastic seniors to join us, because that could be a benefit or it could be a drag for you. I'll try to get a Mac appearance. I talked to Miss. Oh, by the way, people can leave if they want to. People can leave if they want to go and do other things. I talked to McIlvain yesterday. There's a rumor that I might be teaching AP World History, and so I went and talked to him about that and borrowed some books. I sanitized them, by the way. Fish don't do a lot. Hey, Noah, wave. Oh, well, I owe you a Rutherford update. I'll have to get on that. So we'll have to work on McIlvain guest appearance and then a Rutherford guest appearance. Ryan, in the group me, Ryan, I am going to put together didactic review sessions that's direct teaching. I'm gonna make small, short videos in the spirit, hopefully, of Henry Green and John Green. And I'm going to, but if in the text chat, I'm only going to do Wuthering Heights, Madame Bovary, Pudd'nhead, and Ivan, because we didn't talk about those enough. But when you do your reflective journal for the interactive oral, the Global Issues Reflective Journal, that will also be an opportunity review. And guys, that journal is not going to be just you having an assignment. I'm going to work with you both individually as a group on it, and that will also be a way to review and also to teach you the interactive oral. Oh wait, you guys didn't do Wuthering Heights. Oh my gosh, I've been teaching IB too long. Okay, forget what I said about Wuthering Heights. I forgot that I did. I forgot that I did. I forgot that I did Madame Bovary instead of that. Sorry, no Wuthering Heights. Sorry. All right. Okay, so one of the things, I don't know if a lot of your teachers are doing this, but I used to get feedback by looking at your body language and your faces. In other words, I change my teaching on the fly, or I change it from day to day if I get a sense that you're not engaged, or it's boring to you, or I'm not reaching you, or if I'm just confusing you. So I spend a lot of time looking at you. That's why a lot of times I learn your faces. I learn your names much later than you learn your personalities, because I look at your disposition in class. So what I'm asking for, is, how is your feedback on the pacing guide, the plans that I set out? I mean, were you guys ready to just quit for the semester anyway? Are you worried about the interactive oral? Or do you understand Elliot? You know, like a lot of you commented that Elliot is really, really hard. Is Elliot getting easier for you? And again, this is all voluntary because we said people could leave, but I want feedback, because I've taught this stuff a lot, but I haven't taught it under these conditions. And I'm used to constantly using a broad pacing guide or template for my teaching, but I modify it depending on the class, the personality of the individuals, and also the group dynamic and how they react. But I can't see your faces. So is it good or bad? This whole discussion is voluntary. If you have to go somewhere, go somewhere. Or if you want to go to sleep or watch a movie. Anyone? Crickets. Crickets. Fish. Okay, Ryan. I'm hearing ending of the bluest eye. Maybe a bluest eye summary thing. I hear that. Yeah, poetry is really important. I love novels. I love plays. I love nonfiction because of the philosophy thing and history. But poetry is just, it's the essence of language. I mean, I'll say stuff like that. E. Cummings is really good and he's highly underrated. Okay, E. Cummings, a lot of times they pull out his poems and like, oh, you know, yay, narrow fellow in the class. Oh, it's so cute. And he writes in small caps, but he's really very brilliant. I think he and Emily Dickinson suffer from American literature underwhelmingness because they were both really badasses, but a lot of times when they get in the survey course, oh, sorry, Noah. Noah caught me saying the word, you know. Yes, I agree, Ryan. Frost and Whitten. I think American Lit has destroyed a lot of American Lit. All right, so, all right. Okay, I'm just Bob. I'm just harassing you guys now. I haven't done a lot of Sylvia Plath, Ben, to be honest. I like Poe as a short story writer. I like him better than that as a poet. By the way, do you want the next Elliott session to be a live stream or do you want to try MS Teams? Last survey, except for astral projection, most of you liked the live stream. Form and poetry is legit. You see, you don't have to this whole thing between like sonnets and not liking form poetry and liking free verse. The whole free verse versus form poetry is a stupid rivalry. They're different. They use different things for different reasons. You know, I mean, an author like Sidney or Shakespeare or yeah, the formal poets are really quite legitimate. Just as the free verse isn't just BS. They're dealing with structure, just with different structure for different purposes. You don't have to choose between those two. Hey, Claire, the English teachers in our own private social media joked about doing a unit on plagues, including the Mass, the Red Death, but we were specifically told not to teach anything about COVID-19. I think poetry is great. I haven't done a lot of it, except for the Odyssey. And basically, I took an entire semester to do the Odyssey. Okay, wait. Can you guys not? Okay. How do I do a playlist? How do I do this? How do I make these replayable? I'm listening to I see your things about the quarantine stories and Claire's comment, but I want to know, can you guys not access the instructional videos? How can I do this and get it to you in a good way? Can you guys teach me that? How can I send it out to all my 11th graders? I want you to be able to have access to the instructional videos and these videos all time. I probably need to say goodbye because the video is getting very long. And I've got a bad history with YouTube. Okay. I'm going to say goodbye. Goodbye, people. Bye. Okay, Josh, I see because it's private. Bye. All right, I'm going to post a series of links at a minimum. Bye. You can still DM me if you need something. Okay. Bye. Oh, because it's private. Okay. I will post the links again to all of those in GroupMe and on It's Learning. Okay. I'll title it like review or something like that. Bye, Claire. Thanks for stopping by. All right. Remember to like and subscribe. Smash that subscribe button. I'll get better at YouTube and I'll get better at the messages. Okay. Boom. Power semester. No virus can get us down. Bye. Bye. Okay, it edits them. Okay. Bye. Ah.